Hello, friends. So, we are back with another session, and today I am going to be talking about another topic on excuses. Yes, so the title for today is Overcoming Excuses. आपको पता ही है कि ऐसा टाइटल है जिसके बारे में सब लोग जानते हैं। आप हैं, मैं हूँ, हम सब लोग कभी ना कभी कुछ ना कुछ एक्सक्यूज बनाते हैं। So ever since we were kids, we've learned how to create excuses. Right? So this is something which we've all been brought up with. So for some of you who work in offices, you know how to make an excuse to your boss. Or in the college days, yeah. So we all understand this topic in terms of overcoming excuses, but let's get into the depth of this topic and what really can be done to overcome some of these excuses. I read a very famous book, I would say, a very famous book, a dated book, शायद 40 या 50 साल पुरानी किताब है ये, और इसका नाम है द मैजिक ऑफ थिंकिंग बिग। मुझे लगता है आप लोगों ने, कुछ लोगों ने तो इस किताब के बारे में ज़रूर सुना होगा, द मैजिक ऑफ थिंकिंग बिग बाय डेविड श्वार्ट्ज। एंड देयर इज अ चैप्टर इन दिस बुक, chapter number 2, and the title of that chapter is Excusitis. When I read this word for the first time, it really set me thinking as to what this word meant. So excusitis. Now, what does the author talk about in this? He says there's a prevalent disease. There's a disease which is prevalent across generations, and this is by the term of excusitis. And says we make all kinds of excuses, but the only difference between people who are very successful and the people who are not so successful. Yeah, so the only difference between people who are very successful and people who are not very successful is this term called excuse. And then the author talks about three aspects. Yes, he tells us three aspects in which people generally make excuses. तो आज मैं आपसे वो तीनों एस्पेक्ट्स शेयर करने वाला हूँ जो ऑथर बात करते हैं। हम ज़्यादातर इस केस में हम एक्सक्यूज बनाते हैं जिंदगी में। तो पहला एस्पेक्ट, द फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट, दैट्स मोर ऑन द हेल्थ. Many people actually like to talk about their not so good health. Now, we definitely are passing through this pandemic time. Hopefully it should be the end of the pandemic, as people are talking about. Yeah, it's February of 2022. But otherwise too, there are many people who are really concerned. It's a different meaning to be concerned about your health, to be taking care of your health, versus to always be talking about the negative aspect of health. See, if you look around, you definitely will find a lot of people who are diabetic, who have high blood pressure, who have all kinds of ailments. But are you only looking at the negative aspects of where you are? Or are you also focusing on the positives? You woke up this morning, and I read this somewhere that about 1,50,000 people will not wake up tomorrow. Yeah, and that's the amount of people, really the amount of people who die every day. So 1,50,000 people will not wake up tomorrow. Can you be grateful tomorrow morning when you wake up? So looking at the positive aspects of what you have. When you start reinforcing the negatives, जब हम हमेशा सोचते रहते हैं ना कि मेरी तो तबीयत बहुत ख़राब रहती है और मुझे तो कुछ ना कुछ हुआ ही रहता है, जब हम ऐसी बातें सोचते हैं ना, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो हमारे सबकॉन्शियस में वो चीज़ बैठती रहती है। और जब धीरे धीरे हम कोई भी चीज़ अपने सबकॉन्शियस में अगर उसको हम रीइंफोर्स करते रहते हैं, तो वो अगर पहले कोई डाउट भी था ना, वो धीरे धीरे वो सच्चाई में बदल जाता है। मीन्स अगर आपको पहले डाउट था कि पता नहीं मेरी सेहत ठीक है कि नहीं, आप बार बार उसके बारे में हर रोज़ सोच रहे हैं, अगर हर रोज़ सोचते रहेंगे तो वो डाउट डाउट नहीं रहेगा, वो यकीन में बदल जाएगा। So by thinking negative about your health every day of your life, you're actually reinforcing a negative belief within you. And he says, so the author says, this is one big reason of people making excuses in their life. Oh, I really don't keep good health. No, I really can't go for an adventure walk. I really can't do this. My health doesn't allow it to do. My health doesn't really allow me to do all these things. So when you start reinforcing those negatives within you, you start making big excuses for things that you cannot do in your life. So the author says that in Excuseitis, the first thing that he notices in people is about people making excuses for their health rather than being grateful of what they actually have in their life. तो ये था पहला. मेरी बात करते करते अगर आप में से किसी को कोई कमेंट, कोई कोई आपको कोई एक्सपीरियंस याद आता हो तो प्लीज़ प्लीज़ फील फ्री टू शेयर दैट कमेंट. नाउ सेकंड थिंग which the author talks about is related to your brains, दिमाग. अब यहाँ पर भी लोगों के पास वो रीज़न रहता है कि अरे मैं तो इतना इंटेलिजेंट नहीं हूँ. I am not that intelligent. Now, let's think about it. No, obviously, it's true. No, not all of us are born to be Einsteins or Newtons in life. Yes, that's true. But again, coming back to what the author spoke about in health, can we be grateful for what we have? So, first thing is about being grateful for what we have. भगवान ने कुछ तो दिया है आपको. अब मुझे आपको कुछ तो दिया है. सेकेंड चीज, जो दिया है उसका सही इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं कि नहीं. हमेशा ये क्रिप करते रहना कि मुझे तो इतना दिमाग नहीं दिया, मुझे तो इतनी इंटेलिजेंस दी नहीं. अरे बाबा, जितनी दी है उसका इस्तेमाल सही तरीके से कर रहे हैं कि नहीं. सो नॉट जस्ट बीइंग ग्रेटफुल बट बीइंग एबल टू यूटिलाइज व्हाट यू हैव. And you know, if you, so for some of you who've been through school days, college days, if you really look back, so do you really find the so let's say the topper in your class or the most intelligent people in your class, do you really find them occupying all the top positions in corporate life and in business life? Not really. Many times you will find people who really struggled to pass in the examination, also coming out with flying colors in their corporate lives, in their or as an entrepreneur. तो मैं जो कहना चाह रहा हूँ, आपकी क्लास में या आपके फ्रेंड सर्कल में जो सबसे ज़्यादा ब्रेनी बच्चे थे या सबसे ज़्यादा दिमाग रखते थे, क्या वही लोग ज़िंदगी में सक्सेसफुल हैं? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. बहुत लोग जो बड़ी मुश्किल से पास हुआ करते थे, आपको भी ऐसे बहुत लोग याद होंगे जो स्कूल में शायद किसी भी टीचर को ऐसे बच्चे पसंद नहीं थे, बहुत से ऐसे लोग भी ज़िंदगी में बहुत अच्छा कर जाते हैं. So ultimately, you know, what I came to realize was it's not just your intelligence, not just your IQ. There are many other things which contribute to your success, and attitude is definitely one of them. So stop cribbing about the lack of brains or lack of intelligence within you. Ultimately, it's not just your IQ, it's a lot to do with your persistence, with your attitude, which will ultimately determine how successful you are in your life. So that's about the second part which the author talks about in terms of excuseitis. Third thing which he talks about is something known as something related to your age. अब बहुत लोगों के पास ये एक्सक्यूज रहता है कि या तो हम अभी बहुत छोटे हैं उस काम के लिए, या अब हमारी तो उम्र निकल गई. आपने सुना होगा कुछ लोगों को कहते हुए, अब तो भाई हमारी उम्र निकल गई, अब तो हमसे ये नहीं हो पाएगा. You as a person, you have lot of examples. You know of many people who made it at both ends of the spectrum. So for some of you who know about this outlet or this company called KFC, you know the founder of this company. The founder of this company was well beyond 60 when he started this organization. So you have enough examples of people who really had a late start in terms of what they wanted to do in their careers, but really made it great. Yeah, you know of such instances. And on the other hand, you also know a lot of these teen entrepreneurs. It was only yesterday that somebody sent across a video to me. It was a Shark Tank video, and it was about a teenager. And that girl had an innovation. I mean, she she had designed socks. Yeah, socks with pockets. So I just saw that video for about 10 minutes. Fantastic. And this was not just an idea, not just a thought, but she'd actually put it into practice and had sold hundreds of pairs already. It's a very successful product that she had been living with for the last so many months. So I recently heard about another entrepreneur, another teen entrepreneur who's really doing something in the field of generic medicines in India today. So we have many examples in terms of even teenagers making it big today, and people on the other side of the spectrum, people well beyond their age of 60 years, also doing something meaningful, not just for their life but for the society also. We know about so many politicians. We know about why just politicians? Why not a person like Ratan Tata? We all know. I mean, a person well into his 80s. So people have really made some remarkable achievements, even when they were beyond their prime. What really is stopping you? Why do you think that you really crossed your age for a particular activity, or you yet to reach that age for an activity? So this is excuse number 3, which the author talks about, that people commonly bring about in their life. तो 3 चीज़ें जो ऑथर ने इसमें बात की, एक्सक्यूजाइटिस, एक तो मैंने ये नया वर्ड सीखा, और 3 चीज़ें जो ऑथर ने बात की, जो 3 तरह के एक्सक्यूजेस जो लोग बनाते हैं, अपने आप को लिमिट करते हैं, मतलब अपना पोटेंशियल लिमिट करते हैं 3 तरह के एक्सक्यूज बना के। तो हमने क्या क्या बात की? सबसे पहले हमने बात की हेल्थ की। ज़्यादातर लोग अपनी हेल्थ के बारे में कुछ ना कुछ एक्सक्यूज़ बनाते रहते हैं कि मैं ठीक नहीं हूँ या मैं ठीक नहीं रहता, किसी तरह के एक्सक्यूज़। सेकेंड, हमने बात की इंटेलिजेंस की कि मुझ में इतना दिमाग नहीं है, मैं इतना इंटेलिजेंट नहीं हूँ। और थर्ड, हमने बात की एज। So we discussed these 3 aspects, three common excuses that people make, and by making these excuses, they limit their potential. And by limiting their potential, they're not able to achieve what they actually could have. And again, repeating the same sentence which I started off with, the only difference between the very successful people and the not so successful people in life is this one word, excuse. So let's just get out of this disease called excusitis, and let's do much more in our lives. Believe me, you and me are capable of doing much more in our lives. So that was it for today. I really enjoyed talking to all of you, and I will be back again next Thursday, same time, 9 p.m. with another topic. एक और टॉपिक के साथ बात करेंगे आप लोगों से. So thank you. See you.